afternoon, guys. A very good afternoon to all of you and to you as well. Thank you. So now we discussed the rate of reaction yesterday and the types of rate of reaction for different type of reaction system. So we are discussing the homogeneous reaction system. So this is now let's talk about the factors affecting the rate of reaction in homogeneous reaction system. So for homogeneous reaction system, the factors which affect the rate of reactions are temperature and concentration. That's it. Only these are the two factors which affect the rate of reaction in homogeneous reaction system. Okay. If you see the books, so in books it is also mentioned that there is third factor as well, which is pressure for gaseous reactions only. Okay, but you don't need to mention that, because we know that for gaseous mixtures we can represent the concentration in terms of pressure. Okay, so whatever effect of pressure is having or putting over the reaction rate, that we can consider in this concentration term itself. Okay, so it's your choice whether you want to mention that specifically or not, otherwise no need. So here I can simply say that rate of reaction means that Ri upon mode of nu I. I am talking about the rate of reaction is the function of temperature and concentration. Now you can see that if pressure is the factor as independent factor, so we should consider pressure as well here in mathematical equation. Okay, but they don't do that because they know pressure can be included in concentration itself for gaseous reactions. Okay, so mathematically that's how we can represent the rate of reaction as a function of temperature and concentration. Now to know the equation, like this function is in which form? They have several theories, but the most suitable theory which is widely acceptable, that is power law, also known as rate law. According to that theory, we can write this function as rate of reaction R is equal to K product summation, like you know this summation, this is for addition purpose. Like if I have summation xi, that means x1 plus x2 plus x3. Similarly, if I have product summation, that means x1 into x2 into x3 into x4, like that. Okay. Product summation of Ci power alpha, where this K is known as reaction rate constant, which is the function of temperature only. Ci is the Ci is the concentration of reactant I, not all the components, only the reactants. Okay, because in our system reactants are the input which we are sending, so we can control them easily. So Ci represents the concentration of reactant I, and alpha I is the apparent order of reactant I. What is the meaning of apparent order? That we will see later on. According to power law, the apparent order alpha I will be equal to the stoichiometric coefficient of component I in RDS, that is rate determining step. Okay, and one more thing which you should know, that rate law can be written only for RDS. For any chemical reaction, if you know the RDS, the rate determining step, then only you can write down the rate equation, rate law. Okay, this is also known as rate equation. So like if someone asks you what is equation of a state, what will you say? You must have heard about the ideal gas equation of a state, van der Waals equation of a state, Virial equation of a state, SRK equation of a state, Pang-Robinson equation of a state. There are so many. Okay. So cubic equation of a state as well. So what is equation of a state? In 11th, 12th in organic chemistry, you must have heard about the name reactions. If any chemical reaction has a specific name, so we have to mention like that only. For example, Haber process. Haber process means N2 plus 3H2 gives ammonia in the presence of iron as a catalyst and molybdenum as a promoter. Okay, that is Haber process. No one can change that. Similarly, equation of a state means any mathematical equation which relates the state variables. State variables means pressure, volume and temperature. Okay, so different people have given different equation of states. Like tomorrow, what is your name? Sorry? मैं समझा नहीं, sorry. बाद में बात करते हैं फिर. Suppose we are doing some discovery, and since I am the leader, so we are developing a equation of state, a mathematical relation between pressure, volume and temperature. Something like that, P square V square equal to nRT square, suppose. So we can say that what is the name of our group? Suppose chemical. So we will say this is chemical equation of state. So the coming generations will read this equation with our name. Okay. Similarly, this is rate equation. So anyone can ask you in interview the equations by their name. So you should know. Okay. What is the name? Like Einstein's energy equation means E equal to mc square. Everyone knows that. And what is the significance of that equation? I hope you know that. Otherwise we can discuss that some other time. So similarly, any mathematical relationship between rate of reaction, rate constant K and concentration. I am not talking about the order. Okay. Rate of reaction, rate constant K and concentration is known as rate equation. Any mathematical equation, relationship. Okay. Just like equation of a state has some name, that is having some name. Equation which relate PVT, correct. Clear? The rate equation. So if next time if anyone is going to ask you, you can answer what is rate equation. Okay, now let's see how we are going to write here this, how we are going to use this. So suppose we have a chemical reaction, A plus B plus C gives R. So according to power law, R will be equal to, how many reactants are there? 3. Okay, so K will be there obviously, and product summation of reactant concentration. Okay, so Ca power alpha, Cb power beta, Cc power gamma, or you can write alpha A, alpha B, alpha C. That is your choice how you are going to write that. Okay. So alpha is the apparent order of A, beta is the apparent order of B, and gamma is the apparent order of C. Similarly, suppose there is a reaction P plus Q gives S. So the rate equation will be R is equal to K Cp power alpha Cq power beta, or alpha 1 alpha 2, whatever you want to write you can use. I hope this is clear. And if only one reactant is there, then only one concentration term will be there. Clear? Now one more thing which you should understand, the most important thing, because in CRE the most important thing is always rate equation. If you are able to write the rate equation, then you can do anything, because mathematics is very easy part here. So according to power law, this part on right hand side represents the formation of product, or you can say disappearance of reactant. Okay, formation of product and disappearance of reactant. That's on. This is the meaning of this term on right hand side. Now if in physics, I hope you must have done that. Suppose this is some object and two forces are acting on this object. Force 1 F1 in this direction and force 2 F2 in this direction, in the same direction. So what will be the net force? Means what will be that? F1 plus F2, simple. And if two forces are there, one is F1 in this direction, one is F2 in this direction, and body is also moving in this direction, then what will be the net force? F1 minus F2. If body is moving in this direction, so you know that, simple. Why? Because their directions are different. And similarly, I hope you also know one more thing about the vaporization and condensation. What is the difference between vapors and gas? When was the first time you read these two words, vapors and gas? In which class? Approximately 6th, 7th class. Now you are in BTech, or you have completed your BTech? Final year, मतलब भी complete हो जाएगा ना? So it's been around 6 plus 4, almost 10 years, and you don't know what is the difference between vapor and gas. It's not about you only, it's for all of us. Don't worry, मुझे भी MTech second semester में पता चला था क्या difference होता है. I don't know why you guys are using temperature and pressure term. Always try to give your answer in crystal clear words, in short and small sentences. Okay. Whenever we try to use some extra words, सामने वाला क्या सोचता है? The other person will think he is trying to be over smart. Okay, like just for example, if someone, like any one of you, is asking my name, okay, we are meeting somewhere, or you are taking my interview and you are asking what is your name? I am saying my name is Ankush Gupta, son of Grish Kumar Gupta, residence of this, my hobbies are blah 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 blah, so many things I have spoken. What was your question? What is your name? but I have told you each and everything about my life. So what will you say? Will you select me for any job? Yes or no, simply. What do you think? No, obviously. So that's what you guys are doing. Like first one, vapor contains liquid molecule. I don't know about that. Vapor liquid gas equilibrium, पता नहीं. Vapor can be condensed. Yes, like this. Vapor can be condensed. That's it. This is the answer. Now after that you are using pressure, temperature, reversible, irreversible, I don't know what these things are. You are just wasting your answer. That's it. ठीक है, मतलब पूरा डेकोरेशन किया, गिफ्ट दिया, बाद में हमने एक्स्ट्रा डेकोरेशन के चक्कर में हैवी मेकअप कर लिया और सामने वाले को क्या लग रहा है, क्या अजीब आदमी है. Vapors are condensable, gases are not. That's it. You cannot condense gas at any temperature, pressure, volume or anything. At any state you cannot condense gas. So should we use temperature or pressure for gas? That is by default. Okay, is the answer. And what is condensation? कन्वर्ट थोड़ी कर रहे हैं, ट्रांसफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. इंग्लिश इज अ फनी लैंग्वेज. हिंदी में मीनिंग सेम होगा, बट इंग्लिश में कन्वर्जन एंड ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन आर टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स. थोड़ी सी इंग्लिश आती है मुझे, तो इतना पता है. Vapors can be condensed, and what is the meaning of condensation? Transformation of vapors into liquid. And transformation of liquid into vapor is? Vaporization. Evaporation is a different thing. Suppose at 1 atm, this is 40 degrees Celsius, this is 100 degrees Celsius. I am talking about water, pure water. Huh? So at this point, what will be the state of water? Phase. Water will exist in which phase? Liquid. At 1 atm and 40 degrees Celsius, that will be liquid. If I supply the heat, so the temperature of water will increase and sensible heat will increase. Thank you, Anil. Like this, up to 100 degrees Celsius. Now after this, if I further supply the heat, will the temperature of liquid rise or not? No, because this is the saturation point. Okay. Saturation point means, just understand, saturation means the upper limit or the lower limit basically. We have touched the limit, we are on the verge. Okay. Now either we can go on this side or on this side. And both of these sides are two different phases or two different type of systems. Okay. So when we are talking about the vapor liquids phases, so this side is liquid, this side is vapor. So if I further supply the heat, what will happen? Since the liquid, the heat capacity, you know about the heat capacity Cp, specific heat, the heat capacity of the liquid water has been exhausted. Now it cannot further absorb the heat. So what will happen? The liquid will collapse, basically system will collapse. It will change and liquid will transform into vapors. And vapors have larger heat capacity as compared to liquid, so further their temperature will keep on rising. Okay. So this heat which was involved in this transformation from liquid to gas. This is known as latent heat of vaporization. Similarly, if I am cooling these vapors, they will get condensed after 100 degrees Celsius. Further, they cannot release the heat, so they will start to get condensed. System will collapse. System will change. Okay. And in that case, what will be this heat, latent heat? This will be the latent heat of condensation. So magnitude wise, these two heats are same, but direction wise different. So if mathematically you want to write, can we write it as latent heat of vaporization is equal to minus of latent heat of condensation? Yes or no? Steam are vapors of water. See, that is a different thing. That is another question. What is the difference between steam and vapors? If there is any difference. मुझे भी नहीं पता था, मुझे अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही पता चला, आप लोगों को पढ़ाने के लिए मैंने पढ़ा था. So guys, online people, tell me, is it correct or not? Mathematically, can I write it like this or not? Yes or no? इसे नोट मत करो, ये we will discuss all this thing in detail later on. This is just for the understanding, very basic thing. We can write it like this, yes or no? We can write yes. So now tell me one thing. Similarly, if I talk about a chemical reaction, for example, N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. Okay, at any instant, at any time, if 7 moles of nitrogen are reacting per second, so 7 mole nitrogen will react with 21 moles of hydrogen per second to form 14 moles of ammonia per second. So what is the rate of formation of ammonia? 14 moles per second. Simple. Okay. If I reverse this reaction, then I can write it like this. Then this is 14 moles of ammonia formation. Now what will be this 14 mole? Formation or disappearance? Now this 14 moles will be the disappearance per second. 7 moles of nitrogen formation, 21 moles of hydrogen formation. So the point is, we can write the rate of disappearance of any component as minus of, magnitude wise they are going to be same, but since they have opposite direction, so rate of formation of component I. Yes or no? We can write it like this for any chemical reaction. Clear? Now what is the meaning of this statement? Let's understand. Suppose there is a chemical reaction P plus Q gives R, and as you can see there is stoichiometric coefficients are 1, so rate of reaction and rate of disappearance of component and rate of formation of component will remain same. Suppose I am saying that rate of reaction is K Cp Cq square. This is rate of reaction. So what will be the minus Rp? According to relative rates, R is equal to minus Rp upon P is equal to minus Rq upon Q, that is equal to Rr upon R. So minus Rp will be equal to R. That is the mathematically according to relative rates, but forget about that. Now let's come to this logic. Okay. Right hand side part represents the formation of product and disappearance of reactant. I am talking about the, what is P? Reactant. And I am talking about the rate of reaction in terms of disappearance of P. Means I am talking about the disappearance of P. And on right hand side as well, this is disappearance. Both are in the same direction. So it will be, say, K Cp Cq square. If I want to write RR, then right hand side part represents formation of product, R is the product, and I am also talking about the formation of product, same. Okay. Now if I want to write RQ, then what is Q? Reactant. Right hand side part represents the disappearance of reactant, but I am talking about formation of reactant. Directions are opposite, so I have to write it as minus of K Cp Cq square. Clear? So tell me what will be the, if this is clear, so tell me what will be the rate of reaction for this. Here this is K1, here this is K2, order is 1, 1. You have to write minus Rp, Rq and RR. So what is the answer, guys? Here as well we have few answers. RQ K2CQ minus K1CP, same as you. K1CP minus K2CQ. Oh my god, plus minus confusion. See, it's very simple. Minus Rp. First thing is, in this reaction you should know what is the reactant and what is the product. P is the reactant, Q is the product, R is the product. Okay, only P reactant, Q and R both are the products. I am talking about the minus Rp, means disappearance of reactant. So it will be K1 Cp, simple. And as P is participating only in one step, so only one term will be there. Okay. Now second, Q. Q is the product. And I am talking about the formation of product. And on right hand side as well, this is formation of product. So from first step, Q is the product. So K1 should be there. And concentration of reactants. What is the reactant here? Cp is not the reactant. P is the reactant. Power 1. Then plus. Whenever there are multiple steps, any component is participating in more than one step, so we will add them. Okay. So plus. Now in second step, Q is acting as a reactant. It is disappearing. Okay. But I am talking about formation of Q. And here Q is getting disappeared. Signs will be opposite. So it will be minus K2. And what is the concentration of reactant here? CQ. So it will become K1Cp minus K2CQ. And RR, R is the product I am also talking about the formation of product. It is participating only in one step. So it has to be K2, concentration of reactant. What is reactant here? Q is the reactant. CQ is the concentration of Q. I hope it is clear now. Is it clear now to everyone? Yes, no? आप लोगों को clear है? Now can you write the rate equation for any reaction? See, it's not a big deal. It's very easy to write down the rate equation. After some practice, we will be perfect in this. Yes. Okay, so last. Suppose there is a reaction, P gives R, P gives S. RR is equal to K1Cp, RS is equal to K2Cp square. So what will be minus Rp? RR, RS means formation of products. This is representing the formation of product. So we don't need to think about the sign convention here. Because according to power law, this part means formation of product or disappearance of reactant. So both of them have to be in with same sign. Okay. So P is participating in both steps. So in first step, the rate of disappearance of P and rate of formation of R has to be same, as their stoichiometric coefficients are same. Minus Rp equal to Rr. So it will be K1Cp. In second step as well, their stoichiometric coefficients are same. So minus Rp equal to Rs from the relative rates, if you know. Okay. So it will be plus K2Cp square. Clear? But suppose by chance, here if I say this is 2s, then what will be minus Rp? In that case, minus Rp equal to Rr for first step. So it will be same K1Cp. For second step, minus Rp is equal to Rs upon 2. And what is Rs upon 2? Rs is equal to minus Rp is equal to Rs by 2. And what is Rs? Rs is K2Cp square. So in that case, minus Rp will be K1Cp plus 1 by 2 times of K2Cp square. Clear? So that's how we write the rate equation. And I hope now you can do that. Okay.